I'd like to call to order the regular business meeting for the Mount Vernon City School District. Please, today is January 29th, 2026. We postponed our January 27th meeting due to the inclement weather and for hazardous conditions, and so we are meeting tonight. Will everyone please stand for the pledge? May we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Brown. Present. Trustee Kelly. Trustee McDonough. Present. Trustee Middleton. Trustee Peterson. Trustee Scott. Trustee White. VP Mitchell. Present. President Maribel.
Present. Currently, we do not have a quorum. We need 5 members in order to transact business, but we can do things that we do not have to vote on. So there are a couple of things that I would like to share with the board. There's a statement and some clarification that I would like to address, and I'd like to read this into the record for the clerk. So after I read it, I will give you a copy. The Mount Vernon Board of Education is aware of the public discussion regarding a recent incident allegedly involving a district employee at Mount Vernon High School. We recognize the community's concerns and wish to address them with transparency and integrity. This situation involves both legal and personnel matters. In accordance with the New York Open Meetings Law, New York Education Law, and school board policy, all issues related to district personnel must be handled confidentially, unless an employee specifically requests a public hearing. Therefore, we are unable to publicly share specific details at this time, as doing so could compromise the integrity of the review process. Please be assured that we are fully committed to complying with all legal obligations. We understand the desire for openness. Nonetheless, transparency must be balanced with respect for due process, privacy protections, and confidentiality requirements established by New York law and school board policy. Our commitment is to address this matter within the boundaries of the law. We respectfully ask the community to allow the review process to proceed fairly and legally, and to refrain from circulating assumptions or speculation that could cause unintended harm or jeopardize a fair review. We appreciate the community's engagement and patience. Our focus remains on acting with integrity, accountability, and transparency, always prioritizing the best interests of our students and the district. At this time, I would like for Dr. Strickland, like to let you know that Dr. Strickland is in Albany. He is en route. He had to present to the legislative branches today in order for our priorities and what we will be focusing on in the district and what our needs are to our legislative bodies. Also, we have Randy Scott, one of our other trustees. He is also in Albany attending a conference. And so just wanted to let you know that we do have 2 excused absences for our staff, for our trustees tonight. And Dr. Doggett is standing in for Dr. Strickland until he can attend. And we have a trustee who has informed us that they will be arriving very shortly. As a matter of fact, we now have a quorum. Thank you, Trustee Middleton. Okay. At this time, would you like to do Dr. Strickland's report, or would you like, okay. Is Trustee White on? Okay, Trustee White is joining us virtually. Okay. So at this time, we will have the report from the superintendent that will be given by our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Doggett.
Good evening, Mount Vernon City School District. I would like to begin with the first slide. We would like to highlight our alumni who returns to STEAM to bring inspiration to our scholars. STEAM alumni Mame Forson and Haley Gonzalez return to their roots, spearheading the Inspire program at STEAM Academy. This program has paired the high schoolers with mentors from the New York University, Harvard, Cornell, and other prestigious universities. Ma'am, who attended STEAM, is also an alumni of Harvard, and Haley Gonzalez is in her senior year at Cornell. We would like to also spotlight our Shining Knights, who are seniors. Shining Knights is a student spotlight series that highlights the amazing scholars that helped shape the Mount Vernon City School District. The first few editions featured students from all three high schools, including Roselle Brewster from STEAM Academy, Cameron Holt from Mount Vernon High School, and Matthew Samuels from Denzel Washington School of the Arts. Our girls track and field team qualifies for Nike Nationals. Student Taj Lavelle ran her best time of the season in the 55 hurdles, qualifying for the Nike Nationals and breaking into the top 50 hurdles in New York. Amara Arroyo won the shot put and weight throw, throwing her personal best and qualifying for the Nike Nationals in both events. Jasmine McKenzie and Daniela Thorpe placed fourth in the weighted throw. Congratulations to our track and field students. Lincoln School hosted its annual science fair on Friday, January 16th. From engineering and physics to biology and environmental science, the fair showcased not only what students learned, but how they learned it. Every student in grades 4 through 8 participated, resulting in hundreds of projects that reflected both the academic rigor and personal curiosity that they presented. Projects by kindergartners through third graders were displayed in the hallway. A special thank you to Rebecca Jones for keeping the science fair tradition going on, and thank you to the teachers who organized the science fair at Lincoln School. They are Kaylin Robstad, Aaron Seaton, and Frank Kahn. And thank you to the teachers and students who participated in the science fair at Lincoln School. Marking period 2 ends this Friday, January 30th. Report cards can be accessed through Infinite Campus, as well as progress reports, student schedules, student attendance records, and much more. For parent-teacher conference days, please see the information disseminated from your schools. Infinite Campus can be accessed through the district website under quick links. Our 29th annual Parent Involvement Day will occur on February 9th with a snow date of February 10th. This event is presented by the Mount Vernon City School District in collaboration with the Mount Vernon PTA Council and the Mount Vernon Parent and Community Forum on Education. The district budget presentations. The district conducted a survey in December to hear from community members and stakeholders about what they think is essential for the 2026-2027 budget. With over 1,000 participants, many highlighted technology updates, mental health services, building upkeep, reading and math specialists as top priorities. The next steps on February 2nd, there'll be a meeting with the community and budget stakeholders to engage around district priorities. And May 19th, 2026 will be the budget vote for the 2026-2027 school year. Minister Arthur Muhammad received the Drum Major for Justice Award from the United Black Clergy of Westchester. This award honors the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. in recognition of exceptional leadership and unwavering commitment to the community. Congratulations to Brother Arthur Muhammad. Snow days and delays. Stakeholder consultation and assessment. This has been ongoing to ensure the safety, compliance, and continuity. This resulted in consulting with the mayor's office on emergency status and the city's response, discussing building readiness and safety conditions with the facilities team, consulting with regional superintendents to assess conditions and coordinate responses, to coordinate the Department of Public Works on road conditions, meeting with head custodians, reviewing the New York State regulations of state of emergency declarations and 100-day requirements. For further planning and preparation and ensuring readiness for future emergency situations, the district has taken some proactive measures. Currently, we are working with the bargaining units, collaborating with staff to develop and formalize remote instruction options that ensure instructional continuity while maintaining safety during emergency closures. A big part of this plan is ensuring device readiness, providing all of our students with working devices and our staff as well, 800 new devices have been received and are being distributed to ensure every student can access instruction during emergency situations. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Doggett. Do we have any questions? We can wait for Dr. Strickland to arrive, and then we can go back to the report if you have any questions on that. At this time, we will have a presentation by Ryan Monell from Bus Patrol. We'd also like to acknowledge the presence of Trustee Middleton and Trustee Peterson, so if you could please record their attendance. Thank you. How are you? Is it possible for you to stand at the podium so that our... Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, you got the clicker. Sure. Thank you.
Are we ready? Okay. Okay, while we're waiting to do that, will that be much longer? I would like to call for the December Treasury Report. It's my understanding, is that report ready, Dr. Joseph? The December Treasury Report, is that report ready for this evening?
This report as it is presented, as it was presented to the administration.
Okay, so you're saying that there is no December Treasury
There
Report?
is a report. There is indeed a report that was presented. As it stands, there are certain components that are required. Those components are not met in the report, and so we cannot certify a report that's incomplete.
So you're saying that you're not going to present a December Treasury Report tonight?
That would be correct, yes.
Okay, so we're tabling this report?
Yes.
Okay, may I have a motion to table the December Treasury Report? I have a first and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay, thank you. We'll move back to the presentation by Mr. Ryan Monell.
Well, thank you, Madam President,
thank you.
and very appreciative of your patience with the slight delay, and thank you to the board for your time this evening. My name's Ryan Monell. I'm Executive Vice President of Bus Patrol. Bus Patrol is one of the nation's leading technology providers for school bus safety. and we're proud to serve over 30 different jurisdictions within New York State and over 500 across the country. Wanted to talk to you all this evening because we would love to partner with Mount Vernon to bring our school bus safety solution to the community. As it stands right now, we're serving many communities not far from here. Particularly, we have a program and a contract with Westchester County to serve over 30 districts across the county, as well as White Plains, who joined a program earlier this year. Along with that, as I mentioned, there's about 20,000 other buses across many other communities statewide across New York that currently partner with us to provide this solution. So happy to sort of walk through what we do and ultimately what we can hopefully provide to make a change in behavior in safer streets around school buses for our children. As long as we can get this rolling here. Good. You can go to the next slide, please. So there's a few different aspects of what the service that we offer entails. First and foremost, ultimately what we provide is a technology, particularly cameras, that would be installed on the school buses to ensure that if a violation were to occur where someone passes that school bus illegally, if a child is loading or unloading onto that bus, that would be captured. And ultimately we would work with local law enforcement, in particular Mount Vernon PD, to effectuate making sure we put together an evidence package for their review. And ultimately, upon their review, a ticket would be issued to the registered owner of the vehicle, and that monetary penalty would ultimately be something that would be due back to the community. In particular, by statute, ultimately it would go to both the city, and there, of course, could be also an opportunity for the school district to receive some of that ticketing revenue as it relates to these types of citations. So ultimately what we provide is, number one, making sure we install our technology on the school bus fleet. And then secondly, all of the operational needs to effectuate if a violation were to occur, how that ultimately is processed through and sent to law enforcement for their review. We also provide all of the additional administrative needs as it relates to ensuring when a ticket is issued, the registered owner of the vehicle has the opportunity to ultimately potentially pay that ticket or contest it as you would any other type of traffic citation. As I mentioned, we ultimately are sort of the de facto leader in this space. We certainly have the most buses that are dispatched and deployed with this technology within New York State, as well as the country. So we have a lot of expertise as it relates to the statute that we would have to operate under, as well as ultimately all of the business rules and other community aspects of a program to hopefully make it successful, because ultimately what you need to do is pair enforcement with very strong community education. But at the end of the day, we are a mission-driven company. Ultimately, what we want to do every day is ensure that we make the streets safer for our children as they travel to and from school every single day. As I mentioned, we serve multiple communities across New York, but what's more jarring is what we see in terms of statistics. Number one, obviously, I know there's a lot of aspects of this district that are walking, but ultimately what we see across the country is about 26 million riders of school buses every single day. And unfortunately, what we also see is about 39 plus million illegal passes every year across America. And so, unfortunately, this is somewhat of an endemic. We see this as a true public safety issue, particularly as it relates to traffic safety. It's something that we know and what we've seen very clearly in the communities that we serve is very, very significant behavior change. In places like Rockland County, just across the Hudson River, we have actually, since we launched in 2023, we've seen about a 25% decrease in citations in only a couple of school years. And so we believe the same would be true for Mount Vernon if we were to dispatch this type of technology and utilize this type of enforcement, pairing, of course, with very effective education in the community. This is sort of a schematic of our system on the school bus. And as I mentioned, really what it starts with is ultimately us installing a camera system on the school buses to be able to capture violations if an illegal pass were to occur. In particular, we have a license plate reader Ultimately, what this is trained and ultimately calibrated to look for is a license plate. We're not capturing someone's likeness. We're looking at the license plate, and ultimately the way that the citation works by state statute 1174A in New York State is the citation would go to the registered owner of the vehicle. And so ultimately, it's a civil violation by nature. It's a monetary penalty. It is not a criminal penalty. There would be no points on a license or any other type of punitive criminal penalty outside of the monetary penalty that would be due if you were to pass the bus. On top of this, we also utilize an LTE network as well as a DVR in every bus to ultimately ensure that we can transmit all evidence effectively to be reviewed at the end of the day by local law enforcement. So these are some things I can show at a later date, some video here that demonstrates the efficacy of the system. And this ultimately is sort of the process as I'm outlining it to you all. So once an incident is captured, we ultimately first and foremost would make sure that that incident reflects the state statutory requirements of law, process through to local law enforcement, and then ultimately they would make the determination on if a ticket should be issued. This is an example of the evidence that is captured. So you would see three images as well as three videos as well as three still images that would be utilized to make the determination on if a violation occurred. And this is an example of a ticket that would be issued to the registered owner of the vehicle. We do have a lot of opportunities to demonstrate some of the extreme examples of what we see as close calls, ultimately when children or pedestrians are unfortunately close to being struck, if not struck, by a passing vehicle, just demonstrating the importance of this type of program. The other thing that we always really ultimately try to do once we dispatch programs across the country is ultimately ensure that the data that is captured, understanding where violations occur, can be harnessed as well to ensure that ultimately we educate the community further. Number one, in regards to what types of violations are occurring, but secondly, in terms of locations. And so one of the things we typically see very regularly is being able to provide the boards, the school boards that we ultimately serve with top ticketing locations, say your 20 top bus stops, to where we ultimately can realize and understand, looking at the data, how many violations are occurring. And so when it comes to doing routing, and ultimately just, of course, educating the community about where these very difficult, potentially dangerous bus stops are, making sure that we can actually intervene and create safer environments for our children every single day. And so we ultimately provide weekly, monthly reports to all of our customers to make sure that you can ultimately have that line of sight to make the determinations on how we keep our children safer. Lastly, one of the things that we ultimately commit to for programs and for school districts that would like it is an interior non-enforcement system as well. And so many districts that we work with are ultimately moving towards having a interior camera system to be able to ensure that we're preventing bullying, making sure that we're ensuring that, for example, children aren't left on the buses at night, and ultimately we provide that as part of our package as well. One of the things about this program I just want to make very clear is it is a violator-funded program. And what that means, number one, is that Bus Patrol will facilitate all the capital upfront costs to install all of the equipment on the buses. It's about $10,000 investment per bus, and facilitate all the operational costs. And ultimately what we ask for is an aspect of the ticket to ensure that we can recover our costs. But typically what we see is a significant amount of revenue provided back to the local community. And so we've seen a lot of examples of revenue being generated through this program that pays for itself, but ultimately being able to put that revenue back into the local community for other initiatives around public safety, education, and community engagement. And so, along with the enforcement, obviously, and making sure that we're keeping our children safer, providing technology that ultimately many districts are looking to facilitate, regardless of having an enforcement program, you also will likely see a decent revenue stream for both the city and potentially the school district through this program as well. And I'll stop there. Certainly have additional detail. I'm not sure how much time the board has this evening, but maybe I stop to take a couple of questions in regards to this program and to Bus Patrol. But very appreciative of your time this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Monell, for the presentation. Do we have any questions from our trustees? Trustee McDonough?
Thank you, Madam President. I'm a little confused because wouldn't this involve the contractors? We don't have a bus fleet.
That's correct. Yeah. So we ultimately, many communities across New York. New York is it's very common, of course, for the district not to own their own fleet, and so we actually partner and work very closely with a lot of the different bus companies. I believe yours is First Student. First Student's one of our main partners across the country for different fleets. This is in regard to contracting, in regards to how it would work, and what the law says is the process. The contract holder would actually be the city, but on account of the bus company being contracted, of course, through the school district, what we do is we ultimately facilitate an intergovernmental agreement with the school district to facilitate ultimately being able to install on the school buses. And regardless of if the bus is contracted or owned by the district, we're able to usually facilitate that process.
So
The
the
way-
city is separate from the school district. So you would
course.
contract with the city. We would then strike a contract with the city
That's
as
right.
well.
That's correct.
Okay.
And the reason that's the case and why that's the way that these programs work is because of what the law says is a requirement. So the way the law reads for the statute that these programs operate under, the municipal government is the enforcement agency. So in this case, it would be the city of Mount Vernon. But obviously, the school district controls the asset, which is the school bus that would be utilized for that enforcement. And so typically, the way that it works is there's an MSA plus an intergovernmental agreement with the school district, potentially a revenue sharing agreement between the school district and the city to ultimately facilitate this process. And then we would work closely with the school district as well as the city. The school district, of course, to maintain and ensure that the enforcement technology on the school buses is effectuated. Of course, reporting back all of the results and working to facilitate community education with the school district, but enforcement would happen with the city.
Have you had any contact with the city of Mount Vernon about this?
So Dr. Strickland, we actually worked with him to facilitate this program in his previous district up in Rochester, New York. That program has been very effective. I believe he is in conversations with the city about potentially discussing this opportunity.
Thank you, Madam President.
Okay, thank you, Trustee
Thank
McDonough. Trustee Brown?
Thank you for your presentation. Trustee McDonough actually had the same question I had, but my additional question is, because we will be contracting with the city, you need us as the board to kind of give you the green light to have this discussion? And then a second part of that question is, with it being with the city, do we have to come back to the table again to have this discussion collectively?
Yes. Yeah, I think the city, number one, wanted to understand the interests of the school board. And then secondly, there would be likely a number of things that would be needed to be effectuated. Certainly would want to work with you all to understand if you would want to do a resolution. And then, of course, as I mentioned, from a contractual perspective, if it gets to that point, there would be an intergovernmental agreement that would go before all of you for your review as well. On the city side, there's a number of things that would have to be effectuated by the city. First and foremost, of course, the contract, but there also would need to be a city ordinance effectuated that would basically outline statutorily that the enforcement is being facilitated on the school buses.
And I have one more follow-up. You said that to do this, it would cost $10,000 per bus?
It's about $10,000 per bus, and as I mentioned, there's a few things I want to actually highlight on that question, Trustee. Number one, the way that we facilitate our programs is, as I mentioned, it's a violator-funded program, and so we actually, when we enter into a contract, it's a hold harmless contract. You know, it sounds too good to be true, but ultimately we make sure that the taxpayer and the school board is not going to be on the hook for that investment. So we facilitate the capital investment, and then ultimately would recover that investment, debt servicing, everything that we would facilitate, the operational costs through the violations themselves. But the way that we typically enter it into an agreement is either a revenue sharing model to where we basically recover our costs as part of that violation funding that would be recovered or coming in, or we do like a subscription fee to where ultimately we identify over the course of the contract a fee per bus per month that ultimately we enter into. The last thing I'll say very quickly, though, that's really important for the board to know is under 1174A, the New York State statute, it says definitively the school board in the school district cannot accrue any cost relative to the program. So it must be revenue neutral for the school board in the school district.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you so very much.
Very much.
Okay. At this time, we will have a Budget Committee report from Trustee McDonough.
Thank you. I feel like I'm always like hovering to get my body's not shaped for this. Thank you. So first, let me just start. I attended a webinar on the 16th of January, hosted by the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association, titled "Sound Budgeting and Real-Time Issues." It was very good. Yeah, the slides are up on the Westchester Putnam School Board's website. It's definitely worth checking out. It's a little, hey, there he is. Hey, Dr. Strickland. I just started the Budget Committee report. Should I continue or you, okay. It's definitely worth going and looking at. There are a lot of other really good presentations. It's a little bit tricky. You have to go to programs, then public issues, and then in there you'll see all the different presentations. Really, really good slides. So I just wanted to note that. Dr. Strickland, Drs. Joseph, and I met yesterday as the core members of the Budget Committee. We started by talking about some of the calendar items that are coming up that are notable. It was mentioned that on February 2nd at 6:30 at Graham, Dr. Strickland will host a community meeting to discuss budget priorities for the coming academic year. There'll also be one on February 9th at 6:30 at Mount Vernon High School. Throughout the month of February, Dr. Strickland and his cabinet will be developing next year's budget. At the end of February, the budget will be submitted to our New York State monitor, Dr. Young-Wilkins. And then on March 2nd, the budget is due to be submitted by Dr. Wilkins to NYSED. And then on the 10th, our meeting on the 10th, I think it's a work session on the 10th, Dr. Wilkins will give a budget presentation. And also in March, at that point, Dr. Strickland will go out and host additional forums to present the proposed budget to the community, and dates and times and locations for those meetings will be determined. I think that takes us through March. It might be a good idea. I don't know if the fiscal 20, next year's fiscal budget calendar is up on the website. I think the last year one, it might be worth putting that up there, or key elements of it. Is it? If it's not, I looked, I thought that the last year one was. There, it's more or less the same, but it's a good idea to have that up there. We also discussed some outside factors that will impact revenue in the coming year, and I'll go from federal to state to local. Federal title funds, Title I, II, III, and IV grants. It looks like it'll be about flat, possibly a small decrease relative to this year's $3.68 million. But it won't be material. We won't get any increase. You know, things are in flux in the federal, so it's always a little bit unnerving, but it looks to be relatively stable. Same with IDA Part B, Section 611. It looks like there'll be a small increase with that. It's not clear how much that will be. But that's good to have that because that'll target preschoolers. New York State Foundation aid looks like we're expecting about a 2.66% increase for the coming fiscal year. Again, these things are not for certain right now, but that's good. That's a good thing to have coming. We'll learn more. I know Dr. Strickland was just up in Albany. It was great. I read the transcript. It was fantastic. Thank you so much for doing that. On the city level, we talked about we had an agreement with the city for payment of the back taxes. That agreement that we had took us for taxes up through fiscal 20, so 20 and prior. That agreement has been fulfilled. Now we are in the process of discussing to strike a new agreement that will cover fiscal 21 forward. In February, we will certify for the tax year ending this June and get that to the city. That'll start the 2-year clock going. I was just thinking when Dr. Joseph, when we were talking about the Treasury report, it might be a good idea to add a line item on the receipts side that lists that that money due from the city to the school district, because if we strike an amount similar to the one we had before, $450,000, $500,000 a month, that will be going on for a long period of time. So it'll be nice to have that line item on the Treasury report so we can all see that. It'll be good for transparency. Let's see. And then I just want to note my appreciation for the work being done by Dr. Strickland, Dr. Joseph, and the cabinet. I mean, it is very difficult to put the district on sound financial footing. It's complicated work. It takes a lot of skill, knowledge, focus, and tenacity. And I just want to say thank you for the efforts that you guys are making. That's it. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Trustee McDonough. I'd also like if you could record the attendance for Trustee Kelly, who's in attendance. Thank you. At this point, we will have a report from Student Trustee Leonard Orduro. Oh, do we have any? I'm sorry. Do we have any questions on the budget report? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, Trustee Peterson, you can go first. Usually, let the.
Thank you, Trustee McDonough. Question, while I don't know if you've been paying attention to what's going on currently in Hackensack, in the Hackensack, New Jersey public school system, they are currently facing a $17 million deficit with their budget, and a huge issue with it is that they weren't paying close attention to their position control roster. And in that, when I watched the meeting, they had a meeting on January 21st, it prompted me to say, whoa, because as listening to that, it reminded me of things I wouldn't hear, in Mount Vernon, this district. So it prompted me to ask Dr. Strickland, well, hey, because a position control roster is vital to doing a budget. That's what determines positions, salaries, things like that. And so it prompted me to then, because since that is basically a necessity to do a year-to-year budget, where this district was, and I found out that we do not have a position control roster. So when working on with this budget committee, if you could please commit yourself to making sure that this district has a position control roster, because that is vital.
Yeah, thank you. That has come up, and we've touched on that. This is an opportunity. The zero-based budgeting that we're doing this year, we touched on. That's an opportunity to really clean up how our codes are being used, because it seems like it's kind of arbitrary, and that is part of what necessitates when we have to come, when the administration has to come and ask to move money from one line to another. That's due to inappropriate use of codes in the past. So zero-based budgeting will give us the opportunity to align our codes so we have really tight position codes. Figure this is a transition year, but once we get through it, moving forward, it'll be a lot easier. So thanks for picking that up. That's an important point.
Dr. Strickland, would you like to comment?
Yep, just to comment on Trustee Peterson's point about position control. She was absolutely right, but that was something that I found first in July, because one of the first things as a new superintendent you want to do is ask for your roster. We had a roster, but you could tell that it was not formal, and we already have started that work. So currently we do have position control for all administrators in the district, because it's easier for you to have those individuals in one place, because they generally don't move around. So next we'll go with probably a smaller bargaining unit, and then we'll probably end with probably our CSEA, because they are the most transient. But just know that it is in the works because, one, it makes budget hard. And to talk in regards to that other district, the reason why for the community you want position control is because what will happen is you just roll over a budget from one year to the next. And then you get a lot of requests for, I need this, I need that, and those aren't formalized, and it compounds, and now you have a budget crisis. So that's exactly why I wanted to put that in place, and our human resources team and our associate soup is working diligently on that.
I would also like to add that it's also part of the state monitor's report, and it's also a requirement that we have to have that in place by there's a deadline, I believe, September 30th, 2026. Okay. Any other questions? Trustee Vice President Mitchell.
Thank you, Trustee McDonough, for the report. You know, we've been talking about the money that the city owes us for a long time, especially the oldest, which is the 1920 fiscal year money. This is the 11 million that we've been talking and agonizing over for a long time, right? So, are we confirming that we have been paid in full for 1920 the fiscal, that 11 million? Have we been paid in full?
Yes.
Okay, and have we released anything like that in writing? Could we make that public facing? It's just a topic that it would be nice if we had. Tell me what our capabilities are.
I don't see why not. I mean, issuing a statement is probably fine. I think legal and the administration would do that. That's fine.
I just think it's very important that the taxpayers and stakeholders understand that it hasn't just been talked about and the city just has been saying they're paying us, and we actually received the money, and the 11 million, we finally cleared it up. But now the next question I have, one of the main reasons why we got in that hole with that 11 million was not just because the city wasn't releasing payments, but because we weren't certifying on time. So aside from 2025, which you said we're certifying in February?
It should be certified at the end of because remember, the second installment was just due, is it today or tomorrow, the second basket of the taxes for this current year? It was in June. It was in January. Yeah, 30. So then at that point, we have the next few weeks to figure out who has not paid their taxes, and then we certify it, and then that starts the 2-year clock going for the city. So we've got to do that. That's important. If we don't, it doesn't mean we can't. It just slows things down and complicates things. But we're in a much better position. I know in the past that was an issue, but we have the other prior years are all certified. So now we're going to certify this year.
That was my next question.
Yeah, they're all certified.
So we've got physical proof that we're all certified up except for 2025, which we're about to.
We do, yes.
And can the board have a presentation of what the city now owes us for those years so that we can keep a running tally of what's going on?
Sure. We have that by year. In fact, I just shared that with Dr. Strickland and Dr. Joseph. One thing to keep in mind, and this is what complicates it, is that even though the clock starts, remember the city is always making efforts, and we're making efforts to collect that taxes. So the number is changing over time, which is a good thing. It should go down. So that's part of the reason why, I think it's a slow-moving and complicated process to collect this, and hopefully we'll never be in this position again. But certainly we can release that, and then I think if we have it in the Treasury report, once we have a new agreement, we should be watching that move and come down. Although every year, remember, a new number comes up. Hopefully, if more people are paying their taxes, we get close to, say, that 99% collection rate, then the number gets much smaller and much more manageable. But we just had some big numbers in the past. So, yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions or comments? Okay. Hearing none, we'll have the report from our student trustee, Leonard Odoro.
Well, just good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? So I just want to bring insight into the students and staff world of STEAM Academy through the monthly school newsletter, which is seen on the screen. Okay. January's newsletter kicks off with exciting February events like Steam Day and a cinema field trip. Plus, Ms. Vogel inspired a project. She raised over $820 so seniors could keep motivation books and create vision boards. Next slide, please. Our after-school clubs are thriving, from mock trial club, building legacy skills, and HOSA inspired future health care leaders, and eco clubs promoted stability and more. These clubs are led by advisors and students created through family and friends space for growth and fun. Go to the next slide, please. A Citon field trip to Jacobsburn led to ninth grades create a short film and built storytelling skills. We also fundraised for a senior memory for that raised up to at least 2,500. Our staff breakfast celebrated. Sorry, give me a sec. I misclicked. And our staff celebrated everyone with good food on that. Okay, sorry, my bad. I have a problem with technology at the moment. Sorry about that. If you want, you could go to the next slide, please.
Just a note that board docs just went down. I think it just may have come back up, so. Oh, nope, not up. Can you finish your report, student trustee? Or
Give me a second.
you need assistance?
No, I don't.
Yours is working?
Okay. So this is going to be for the the last one. For the ACE mentor are driven by engineering Con Edison students, gaining pro inspired for the future career. Middle schoolers crashed through a chocolate fundraising for at least 2,500 with more than fun events like candies and tournaments ahead, all boosting communities and students. And that would be all for that. And sorry for the problems with the speaking at the moment. But I would like to say this. This newsletter was helped through one of our staff in STEAM Academy named Ashley Wallish, who's also known as the social student teacher and class of 2026 advisor. 2028 advisor, sorry about that. And you may know her as the staff of the month of 2025. Well, these newsletters are already located on the STEAM page of STEAM Academy. Sorry and thank you. I'm done.
Okay, do we have any questions? Thank you, student trustee Ordoro, for always representing our students very well and for researching and bringing back the issues and concerns that we have. At this time, we will go to communication from the public. I'd like to read a statement. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to convene into the public comment period of our meeting. Although state law does not require us to hold a public comment period, we have chosen to do so because we believe it is crucial for us to hear from our community members about their concerns and issues. Please note that the board is here to listen. The public comment period is not designed to be a discussion. If we are not able to respond tonight, we will respond to your questions and concerns at a future meeting or have the proper staff member get back to you at the appropriate time. This is because we take your concerns and questions seriously and want to have sufficient time to process and research issues. On personnel matters, we ask you to go through the appropriate administrative channels. Under state and federal privacy laws, we are unable to entertain any comments or questions about school personnel. Please know, however, that we take personnel concerns very seriously. We are currently preparing a comprehensive organization chart, which I believe is available now, that will identify who should be contacted for different issues when it comes to personnel. It's in draft form currently. Finally, we want our school board meetings to serve as an example to our students and hope that our members of our school board and members of our community can deal with controversial issues in a civil manner and demonstrate mutual respect for one another. We ask that speakers please address their comments to the board directly rather than the audience. We will insist that all speakers and members of the audience maintain civility and respect for any divergent views. In the unlikely event the meeting becomes unruly, the board will recess the meeting and return once order has been restored. Finally, I want to remind everyone that if you so choose, in lieu of speaking during the public comment period, you may submit written comments to the board at boetrustees@mtvernoncsd.org or our district clerk, Rita James, rjames at mtvernoncsd.org, or our superintendent, Dr. Strickland, at dstrickland@mtvernoncsd.org. Each individual speaker will be allotted 3 minutes. If you do not use your allotted time, it will be forfeited and is not eligible to be yielded to another speaker. The individual time limits will be enforced so that as many members of the public who wish to speak may be allowed to do so. We thank you for your cooperation. The board will now entertain public comments. Clerk James, please announce our first speaker.
Our first speaker this evening is Ruby Alisameka. Ruby? Right here.
I have a board. Pardon this rustic way of presenting. How am I going to do this? Hey, my love, thank you. All right, you stand there. Okay. So, good evening. Does my time start now? Okay. Good evening, President, Superintendent, members of the board. Thank you for holding this public forum. And the last time I was here, I was with you, Jeff, and we were with 20 students, staff, residents, and we rallied to reinstate the Graham Gardens, and we did so. So it's good to be back. I don't recognize anyone. I think it's all new faces now. It was about 10 years ago. So my name is Ruby Olasameka. I'm the founder of an organization called Khalifa. It's a Mount Vernon-based environmental education and stewardship organization. And I'm here because there is a growing need for environmental education, civic science, and green career pathways for Mount Vernon residents, okay? So I'm just gonna do this as quickly as possible. So environmental education after school. In Mount Vernon right now, we're facing some really serious environmental issues, right? There's about 6 major ones. I'm not sure if you can see this, but 1, low tree canopy, flooding, excessive flooding, and we know that because our schools are lined with sandbags right now. Pollution into the rivers, so there's a lot of hardtop in our schools all over the city, and that, because there's no penetration of water into the ground, it's running into both rivers. Tree loss, extensive tree loss. So Mount Vernon right now has about 17% tree canopy, one of the lowest in Westchester County. The highest asthma rates in New York State, which is incredible. And according to the DEC, some of the highest levels of air pollution. All of these issues can be solved by just planting trees, right? But our students need to know this because this is not an issue that's going to really affect us in our time. It's going to affect them in their time. And really, really, this is the type of education that they need because they're the ones that are going to have to do this work. So I work with some students over the summer. One of them was from STEAM Academy. His name is Roscoe Brown. And they interviewed about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 non-for-profit organizations, right? So they interview folks from the New York Botanical Gardens. They interview folks from Bronx River Alliance, Save the Sound, FCWC, New City Parks, environmental leaders of color, the Department of Conservation. What did they find? The findings were that this, right? 3 major themes emerged. So I'm just going to focus on one: education, youth engagement, workforce development. Unanimously, right, amongst non-for-profits that are working in the environmental space in Westchester County who want to work in Mount Vernon because we have the worst environmental issues in Westchester County, right? And we have residents. They interviewed countless residents, and they said the same things. The outdoors is important to them. So right now, I'm working with several organizations that want to work with you. And I know that this is a tough time for the district. There's a lot of transitioning. We're proud of you. We love what we're doing. We're rooting for you. Like, we really, really are rooting for you. And I know it's a busy time, but I would love to speak to someone about advancing some of these programs. I have 2 programs on ground right now, one from Save the Sound that will pay students to study, pay the teacher to be a participant in the study. So I'm going to leave this here, and my ask is, who is the appropriate person that I need to speak with so we can get inroads into the school and support you. We are proud of you. We love the work you're doing, but really, really, really would love to partner with you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ruby. You can pass the information to our clerk, district clerk, Rita James, and she will pass it on to the appropriate personnel. Thank you. Mark Stuckey.
Good evening. My name is Mark Stuckey. I am the whistleblower of Mount Vernon, especially this Mount Vernon City School District. You had a presentation that was taking place about school buses earlier. Board members, please do your homework, check it out, because if they're talking about a revenue, then it's like the Con Edison bill in 2019, 2010, somewhere around in there. A board member implemented Con Edison to wind up pulling taxes from the residents, for those who had bills. You pay taxes on the gas and electric, and that revenue, a portion of the taxes from that, is supposed to come to Mount Vernon. If you ask how much is in the revenue for that, and which I have done over the years, not much to offset anything. Okay, so if this is I don't know, but I be looking at our buses first thing in the morning, the school buses, and the monitors and the drivers seem like they doing their job the way they supposed to be. So the bus company who they tied in with is doing the same thing. They're doing what they're supposed to do. I'm not saying the bus company is doing anything wrong, but they're doing their job, as I see first thing in the morning. And I'll be out here in the morning watching, okay? The second thing is, we have lockers at one of our schools, Edward Williams. Edward Williams lockers are missing locks. Apparently someone was told to take the locks off the lockers. Now you figure, I'm gonna say hypothetically, anywhere between 75 to 100 lockers. At $25 a pop, you could pull it up and you can wind up seeing it. Where are those locks? Who took them? Why was they taken off? These are questions that being asked. Taxpayers paid for all this here in that bond, okay? So we need to know these answers, and I'm not trying to point fingers on nobody. But we have, dirty playing that's taking place in our certain schools that administrators are letting it go through. In the same building, why does the custodian have to come in an hour early if he's supposed to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning? Why come in at 5 o'clock in the morning? Like, what are you trying to get out early for? What are you doing dirty? Okay, snow removal. The snow removal that we had just recently, which took place from this bad storm that we had, I would like to say to those who have Mandela, ladies, 3 ladies, they outdid themselves. They came out, they shoveled snow. They walked from one side of Mount Vernon to get to Mandela, okay? They showed out, Superintendent, okay? They need to be recognized. You gave out awards for people who was dirty in this district on the awards day, staff members. These ladies needs to be notified, recognized on what the services they did. I was there, I helped shovel snow, okay? So, you know, give them their props. Not only that school did good, okay, Trap, they did very good too, okay? Now, as far as removing the snow from the parking lots, horrible job. Is the sand that they use in our sand, because our sand bank has gotten low, is that in the contract for them to use our sand? Or did we pay for sand to be, they're supposed to bring their own sand in? Okay, the next thing is the last stuff, I'm trying my best right here. The last stuff was, at the last board meeting, I did show the plaques that was I was making. You know, Madam President, I always say these words, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. You wind up putting a hole in me 12 different ways of Sunday. It wasn't nice, and people talked about that. But as you curse me, I'm sorry, you cuss me, as a minister said once before, I forgive you. I forgive you for your actions. I would never came out and do anything like that. I'm trying to help the district, and you trying to do something dirty towards me? Oh, please. Miss Kelly, at one board meeting, the superintendent stood up there and he was talking. It was
Thank you,
about
Mr.
the
Stuckey.
fire that took
Your
place
time
in
is
Mount
up, Mr.
Vernon.
Stuckey.
And you cut me short last time.
Mr.
You cut me
Stuckey,
short
your time is
Anyway,
up. Mr.
you went
Stuckey,
and put a new, try to
Mr.
destroy the
Stuckey,
superintendent
Mr. Stuckey, your
on who
time
gave
is up.
authorization.
Security, I'm going to ask security to remove you,
You know,
from the
you didn't give-
microphone or turn it off. Or can we turn the microphone off?
Okay. You turned around
Can
to
we
try
turn the
to
microphone
destroy
on, please?
the superintendent.
Turn
Don't
the
do that.
microphone
Because you was the dirty
off.
ones who did the same thing.
And let me
What was going on?
clarify one thing.
No, you can't.
I will clarify one
ahead, go
thing. That anytime a person stands at that podium and starts talking about personnel issues, I will stop you because it is against our rules and regulations. And as soon as you raised up a person's name and a personnel issue is when I stopped you. So let's just be clear about that. And I will do it again. So let me be clear. Thank you, Mr. Stuckey. Jeff Monroe.
Don't come after me.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, trustees, staff, and community. For the record, my name is Jeff Monroe. I'd like to, I came for 2 or 3 reasons, but I want to primarily advocate for the work that Ms. Olasameka had just come up and advocated for, in part because she's a co-organizer with myself and a neighbor in Mount Vernon. I've had the pleasure of working with Ruby for the last 6 years in the Free People's Market Project, mostly as just a pair of arms and legs. This young lady is the brains of that operation, and we literally fed people farm fresh fruits and vegetables and whatever was in season for free distribution to people who needed it during COVID and up till now. I only have 2 minutes and 14 seconds left, so I'll use the rest of the time to talk more about other things, because I think, frankly, she can speak more effectively on the use of that. I want to speak to the need for the urban farming initiative to be grassroots and for the school district to enable that grassroots initiative. I won't say much as a criticism. It may come off as personal because there is an official kind of personnel, mind you, related way that this is being managed. It's being managed as a kind of top-down, nutrition-related, policy-based initiative that's going to manage almost in a peripheral way how Ruby and others have been doing this work for some time. I'm just one of the elements, if you will, as part of that initiative. But as an organizer in this community, as one of the chief brain trust, really, of this particular work, I'm going to argue on a parallel kind of school of thought that we must have an initiative from the grassroots. Personally, and this is my politics, I will not tolerate a top-down kind of mandate for how we feed and serve our community. Obviously, officials should be respected for the work that they do in managing the resources that our community avails to them through our taxes, et cetera, and or land, because we're also talking about food, agricultural growth, et cetera. There's other arguments to be made there. I'm arguing for the very enthusiastic hope, because we want this to be collaborative. We want this to be, we want it to be a friendly kind of partnership. We don't want it to be seemed as antagonistic. We're not, at least personally, I don't have the particular tactical approach now to protest anyone or to come here and approach anyone in any, negative, critical way. But in my critical thinking, I do lament that there is a kind of status quo about how to generate policy and come to the people last. I think that's a backwards way of doing anything productive, especially in this country that claims to be democratic, right? And especially in light of how Black and Latino communities have been managed in this community, especially now. I think we should be mindful of the fact that the current siege that's being managed, as people say, by the President of the United States through ICE is not a Trump phenomena. It's an American fascist state. It's what it always has been. It's just on the surface, and it's very much in front of us. I'm going to remind us that there was an ICE action this week. I saw, in the last 24 hours, I've seen a post that there was an ICE action this week. I'm still working on the details as to what it was and when, but I know for a fact there was another one on Columbus Avenue last September, about a half mile down this road from this building. We are a community under siege, and our families and our children, key word for your jobs, are traumatized. And we are in a state of war, whether you think that's bombastic or not, and I'd like to see this effort on serving our community as initiative from the grassroots. So that's we need to get into a conversation on it. That's really how I'm going to end it.
Thank you, Mr. Monroe, and thank you so much for your advocacy all the time. Thank you. Hope Marable.
Good evening. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Hope Marable. I am the board president of the Mount Vernon Public Library, and so I just wanted to abridge everyone of some recent developments in regard to a previous resolution that the library board had adopted in regard to acquiring 101 Summit Avenue, which would have been the E.B. White Library. So on or about January 7, 2005, the board voted in favor of acquiring this and going out for a bond proposal to acquire 101 Summit Avenue. And Article 78 was filed by a member of the community. That particular resolution was nullified based on an erroneous posting of the remote location of myself in particular. As we all know, mistakes happen. We were instructed by Judge Goodwin to go back to the drawing board, which we did do on or about May 13, 2025. That was Resolution 022-25, and that resolution passed as well, much to the credit of the library board for seeing the vision of acquiring an E.B. White Library in the city of Mount Vernon, the place where he was born and raised. He is an alumni of Mount Vernon High School, also Lincoln Elementary School, a celebrated author of enormous success, a Pulitzer Prize celebrated author, and the writer of such children's classics as Charlotte's Web, Trumpet of the Swan, and a longtime associate editor of New Yorker magazine. So We rescinded on that particular resolution on December 10, 2025, based on the recent tax increases. And so that particular vision has been vacated. And so we just wanted to abridge the school district of that along with the public. Also, our library is going to be celebrating our second annual Black History Month celebration on February 28th, 2026. We would like to invite everyone to that. In the month of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, the library is embarking on a partnership with NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Health, and the title of that program is The Look, inspired by Michelle Obama. And we would really love to partner with the vocational section of the school district in terms of the cosmetology department, because we're going to be working with certain vendors, the beauty salon vendors and such. And I think it's a great opportunity for everyone to come together, the triangle, the city, the school district, and the library. And so thank you for hearing me out, and everyone have a good night, and thank you. And keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Brewington. I don't see her. Okay. Andrea DeRizio. If I did not pronounce that correctly, you can correct me. Thank you.
All right, you said it right.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. We are here from the NAACP, and in one of our local, our most recent meetings, we discussed that some of the elementary school students can't read, and this is in grades like 6th grade where they should. So we wanted to work on that skill. And so we were just kind of like, strategizing how we could do that. One of our members, it works at Westchester Community College, so the idea came, we thought about maybe volunteers from the school or students at the college that are studying in education to work with some of these students. So we, come before you to kind of find out if there's any, what we would need to do, like permission slips or consent forms in putting this plan forward. You want to add anything?
Okay, Dr. Strickland would like to respond.
So right now we have an internal document for individuals that want to volunteer their services, and what I will do is talk with that individual in human resources to create something external. We just have to, even though like I remember meeting with you and definitely welcome your support, we just need to make sure that we might have to do background checks and things like that because you're trying to work with our students. So I guess we'll be in touch.
A few other details we talked about was doing it at the library after school. So, one of the issues is transportation for the child to the library. I don't know if they could do it at the school because the school closes, and so, but something I guess we could talk about after.
Thank you so very much for your innovative ideas.
You're welcome.
Cynthia Crenshaw. No, this is her own. She can start the clock at 3. Thank you.
Yeah, this is, okay, Cynthia Crenshaw. I'm here, as you know, to talk about the Cecil H. Parker picture, which has been almost 1 year now, almost 1 year, not quite, but we don't understand why you're holding that picture hostage. And let me tell you some of the things that we hold at the library. The Mount Vernon High School, A.B. Davis High School, present-day Mount Vernon High yearbook and its sorted photographs, collection of early local history from the village of Mount Vernon, 1853, to local history since incorporation of the city in 1892, collection of Mount Vernon Black history, including dictated oral history and several theses and studies on the subject, collection of individual school histories and the beginning of education system in the village and city of Mount Vernon, the collection of historical documents, photographs, records, and so on and so on. And we have security guards there in that children's section from 10 to 8:30. And let me say this, no disrespect to you, Dr. Strickland. I know when we was here the last time, you said that Dr. Strickland might make that decision on where that picture holds. But let me say this, Dr. Strickland does not know the history of Mount Vernon like we know it, okay? He doesn't know it, no disrespect. But you know it was always that south and north thing when it came to our schools. When Pennington was building that site on there, Parker wanted a roof, although we got it, but it came late. And back in the 1987, we walked out of Washington School because we wanted the teachers to look more like the students that they served. And as the clergy said, when they was here, that we changed the direction of this board, who was up on this board. And like they said at that time, that may have been a mistake. But I hope this one will not be a mistake. They said that publicly. Changing the subject. Rebecca Turner. We have one water fountain in the entire school. The lunchroom is used as also as a storage. I talked to you, Dr. Strickland, about the furniture that the PTA bought at Parker School, that I would like that transferred to Rebecca Turner, to make that lunchroom look more presentable. Those teachers are there more than they are home. I see that you cleaned the parking lot out at Parker School. Maybe some of their resources should have went to cleaning Rebecca Turner, because when those buses pulled up, those kids had to hop over that snow to get on the bus. And then they made a little path that they could get through to the bus. So, and also the bathrooms on the lower level has no locks. I was using the bathroom and one of the boys almost walked in on me. I was just washing my hands. But that's okay, he's a little boy. So it's just things that need to be done at Rebecca Turner. When it snowed, the teachers had to walk 2 blocks to park their car. They had to walk up there to Sanford Boulevard and 4th Avenue because they don't have a parking lot. The parking lot is clean at Parker School. Is something going on there? Because we see a lot of cars in the parking lot. We were saying that there might be investors in there. I don't know if that's true. You know how rumors go. I'm just saying, that's what I heard. I rode by there tonight, and I seen the parking lot was clean, and there was cars in the parking lot. What they're doing, I don't know. That's just rumor they are saying. But let me just emphasize again. The picture was here for will be almost a year. Why are you holding the picture? We have over 1,000 children that comes through that library. Why not introduce them to their history? Your president is taking away our history. They're trying to take away Martin Luther King from Washington. They're trying to do the Black Museum in Washington. Philadelphia is suing the federal for what they're doing to Black history. Why are we suppressing our history? Why? It's been almost a year. And I think that the board, this is my opinion, should vote openly on the relocation of that picture and not Dr. Strickland.
Thank you, Ms. Crenshaw. Just one response. We voted
Okay.
last year on whether or not we were going to release the picture, and the vote was no. And so the vote has not been reintroduced. A resolution or a reconsideration of the vote has not been reintroduced for this board.
Right.
So that vote stands.
Okay, but where is
at
the
this
picture
time,
going? Where's the picture going?
And that the decision as to where the picture is going has not been decided.
So you have to vote on that.
We don't have to vote on where it goes.
Oh, you
we
do
just
not.
voted on whether or not we retain it or whether or not we would let the library have it. And that vote did take place almost a year ago.
Okay, can I get a floor for that to see who voted?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm sure.
I would like that.
Okay.
Okay.
I will ask our clerk. I will ask Clerk James to pull it up. And also, Dr. Strickland has a comment, but I believe that our legal counsel would like to respond to that before
Okay.
Dr. Strickland responds.
Go ahead. Oh, afterwards? Okay, that's cool. Yes,
Oh,
Dr.
okay.
Strickland?
Dr. Strickland.
Ms. Crenshaw, I'm
Yes.
still waiting for my phone call back.
Okay, I
No,
know.
I'm just kidding. Just to clarify a few things. Of course, this has been unprecedented. They said, I was watching the news, there's something about the 6s, that these big storms come down here. I will say that I have seen, I was driving around. There was one location where I was like, eek. Okay, and we all know why that one location was the way it was, is because there was other cars parking in that lot, causing our staff to have to walk to school and park farther away. The area that you were talking about at Rebecca Turner, that was the street. That's the city. That's not our responsibility. Now, I will say, today it possibly was a little better because I care about the health and welfare of our students, and I ask the people that are taking care of our things to make it so that our folks can get to school as safe as possible. Now, I with all due respect, I appreciate, hearing that people had to walk a few different miles, but I just want to let you know I received a message from one principal whom said, "We don't have parking in my area, can we park at homes?" I said, yes. There were cars there. They gladly walked those 7 blocks because they had a safe place to park. So I'm not trying to say, we might have to walk. You know what I mean? We might have to
We
walk.
shouldn't have to. School
I
wasn't
hear
built.
you. Believe me, like I wish all of our schools had big parking lots. You should have one spot per classroom. But that's not our reality, unfortunately.
not at all.
And they unfortunately are not removing snow. You can't just push it. You gotta pick it up and put it somewhere so that people can park safely. And then finally, the principal at Rebecca Turner, her and her head custodian has submitted a list of items that are not working well over there, and that is gonna be followed up on.
Okay. Well, being that I'm being at BC, I'm gonna be just like I was at Parker. I'm letting you know.
Oh, no
Okay.
problem.
All right. Okay. Oh, but what's going on at Parker? You didn't answer that.
So the city, prior to me even talking with the board, which I emailed everybody, just an FYI, called me this morning asking for support with snow removal and actually getting it off the property. They quickly thought, we were going back and forth, brainstorming. I said that perhaps we can do the closed schools. However, I need to talk to my facilities person. I need to talk to the board. And then there was some miscommunication, and they went on ahead and put a posting or communication out that said you could park here from this time to this time. Now, I know for a fact that I didn't say that because we opened North Columbus, the Columbus parking lot, to the staff at Mandela so that they have a place to park and they get there before 8 o'clock. So I wouldn't have never said 8 to 8. If anything, I would have said 8 to 6 or something that makes our staff not inconvenienced. So there was a misunderstanding. They did apologize. They took the posting down, but now there's probably cars there because people saw it.
Right. Okay. All right. When are you coming to walk Rebecca Turner?
Okay,
I'm gonna go. I just want to know.
Okay, all right, Ms. Crenshaw.
When I was there, you wasn't there that day.
All right. Okay, Trustee Brown would like to respond to. Okay.
Okay, so good evening. I do want to respond to Mr. Monroe. You mentioned about a collaborative effort. I want to let you know that we have a meeting that you will see posted for Thursday, February 12th at 6:30 p.m. because we want the collaboration for the Wellness Committee. And so please look out for that. If you want, at the end, if you can give Rita your email address so that you get the personal Zoom link for that, because we want to make sure that we keep you in the loop. I am part of the facilities, health and safety is the wellness portion. And so I heard you, I wrote it down, and I want to say it on record for those who want to help with the wellness. Please come to the meeting. We'll have it on Zoom. We'll have it in the evening because we want the community input. So, Mr. Moreau, that's towards your question, comment. Ms. Crenshaw, you mentioned us coming to Parker as a facilities. I'm sorry, Rebecca. Parker's on my brain. Parker is part of one of the things that we're doing as the facilities committee is we are going to each building, and Rebecca Turner and Benjamin Turner are on the calendar for February 6th. So we will be walking there that day. So if you see me, come holler at me and pull me, okay?
So can the community be there also? Like I be there when you walk?
Talk to your principal. And if she says okay, then right. I can't tell you not to work, but we'll be there that day. But you asked when we will be there, and that's when we'll be there. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Right, Trustee Oduro, and then Vice President Mitchell.
I have a question for Miss Andrea Deroso for the NAACP. Are you partnered with the ATSO or not? It's a program in which it connects with the NAACP where they do competition. So I guess it's a no. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Vice President Mitchell.
So I just want to shout out all the custodians. So let's just look at it. About a couple of weeks ago, we were iced over, and even though there was a plan, things didn't get executed for different reasons. Staff, listen, people call out sick when it snows. That's it. I do it. Well, I used to when I was working in the street. If I had to go outside, my son worked for Parks. If it rained, he called out. Don't think for 1 second that anybody in the district, and I love all of my peoples. I love all of us, but our custodians do call out just because they see it snow. So that was a huge factor, plus the fact that there was communication breakage. But I want you to look at what was impacted this time. Now, I was past one of the schools that we mentioned earlier just yesterday. The street was absolutely unnavigatable. Like, I have a rear-wheel drive car. I would have been sitting out there looking crazy for 3 hours just trying to get down one block. But I want to say, for teachers at Lincoln to have to park at homes and walk is crazy. For teachers that at Mandela to have to park at homes and walk is crazy work. I mean, but keep in mind, it's still challenging when we really can't get the streets clean properly at all. I mean, it's not being removed, it's just being moved. And that's not now just, it's on both sides of the city. It used to be that north side would get taken care of where they would see all of the clean streets and salt. Nah, come down my block right now. I sat outside for 2 hours looking crazy with 4 people trying to help me get my car out of snow looking crazy. All right, so I want us to all understand that the amount of people that we have working for the district that are cleaning up there, they're overworking, they're doing their thing, they're coming in on the weekends and all of that. But keep in mind, it is a partnership, and it's supposed to work like that, where everybody does their part. I do agree that if we have students getting off of a bus and the school district has cleared the sidewalk and there's an ice patch just because it's a city street, it doesn't mean somebody shouldn't just take a shovel and say, let me just clear one little path. That's me talking personally. Okay, so I agree with anybody that feels that way, but I do want all of us to understand it is a joint effort and it's not necessarily working in tandem. So there are challenges that we're trying to meet. Dr. Strickland is setting things aside to make things work. We're working at it still, but it's still relatively broken to an extent.
I would just like to also say you have to remember this was also one of those historic snowstorms that we have not had in a very, very long time. So I think it was managed to the best of our ability under the circumstances, being fiscally stressed, making sure that all our staff was in place and do the call outs. But you got to remember that there was like almost 10 and a half inches of snow, which we have not had in, I can't remember, since probably I was a youngster going to school and had to go snow and 10 years ago. So it was historic, one of the historic snowstorms. So I would just like to thank all the staff members that actually came out and did the job, and for all of those schools and those teachers and staff members that came in on Tuesday, even after trying to shovel themselves out at home and working with their own families, and still coming in and being here and present for our students on Tuesday, because it was still challenging on Tuesday and it's still challenging today. So I just want to say thank you for those that for your commitment. We do appreciate it. At this time, we would like to move to entertain a motion for our consent agenda for items 6.1 through 9.4, which we reviewed at our work session on January the 16th. We have a first and we have a second. We have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any discussion? Okay. Those in favor? Those opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We are moving to 10. Dr. Strickland, you have a comment?
I was just going to say, apparently I have to remove 10.3 from the, oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, we tabled it. Okay. And so we are now at 10, so we are looking at 10.1, 10.2, 10.4, and 10.5. Do we have any question? Do we have a motion? Second. We have a first and a second. Do we have any discussion on any of those items? Those in favor? Those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. We are moving to 11. Do we have any comments or any one of those resolutions that would like to be pulled? If so, please state.
Yes.
Okay, Trustee Peterson.
I emailed earlier, I would like to have Resolution 11.12 pulled.
One and two.
No, 11.12. 11.12.
1 point. Where is it? Oh, it's on the bottom. Okay, the last one. Okay. We don't need a motion. Okay, so whenever, just for the sake of the public, whenever a trustee would request that an item be pulled, it is automatically pulled for discussion, so we will discuss it in executive session. Any other comments or questions?
Yes, I have a question about 11.8, the superintendent's evaluation. Just, and I apologize if I missed something in the timeline there.
Yes.
January 13th, superintendent submits self-assessment and evidence of portfolio. Did I miss that?
Yes, but Dr. Strickland presented the evaluation process to us in August.
Right, I remember the process. I remember
Right.
reviewing the process, but the actual evidence portfolio, did that go to us? Did I miss that?
So if you recall in my confidential letter, I did put my evaluation in there. However, because it doesn't necessarily align with the MOY data, that's coming in right now. So I self-assess where I feel that I am.
Yes.
And as I gather the data, then I will put it all together and make sure you all have it.
Right, and then the second was January 24th, individual board member evaluations due to the board president. Am I the only outlier here that didn't?
So,
Because the process has been delayed,
Okay.
right? That has been delayed, and
Got
so the state monitor, right?
I understand.
The state monitor has granted a concession on that.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
So we have not done that.
So I'm not crazy that the
No,
timelines are a
but
little bit
this-
off. We're moving,
Yes.
but the timelines are a little bit off.
Yes, we're moving forward. So we're looking to do that in February because we do have yeah.
So do we need to revise the dates on this, or because we vote yes on this, it's or
It's
no?
still the process.
It's mainly the process.
It's mainly the process, and the dates can be modified.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
This
Any other questions on that?
Sorry.
Okay. Dr. Strickland?
This is one of the requirements of the academic plan that
The
we are
state
fulfilling.
monitor, so we have to submit it by January 31st. So we did speak to the state monitor. The dates can be modified, but we do have to adopt the process. Okay. Any other questions? So I will entertain a motion for resolutions 11.1 through 11.11, right? First and second. Any discussion? Any further discussion? Those in favor? Those opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. I would like to, at this point, are there any comments that the board would like to make before we I moved to entertain a motion for entering into executive session to discuss the some items that we pulled and some other items. Trustee Vice President Mitchell, you want to, and you have one too. So I usually try to let the leadership go last, just for courtesy. So I will allow Trustee Middleton, since she hasn't spoken tonight, if she could go first.
I don't know if I maybe missed something somewhere, but it has come to my attention that individual who was supervisor of payroll has returned as a consultant and is being paid. So I'm trying to figure out how they're being paid and if they really are or really have returned. And that's just something that I was not aware of, if that is the case.
Dr. Strickland, are you?
That can be addressed in executive session.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Trustee McDonough?
Hi, I just wanted to note that I attended the Association for Behavior Analysis International Autism Conference in the middle of the month, same day as that webinar, January 16th and 17th in New York City. It was a good conference. So I just want to point that out.
Thank you. Anyone else? Trustee Middleton, because you haven't spoken much tonight, I'm gonna yield the floor to you, and then Trustee Oduro.
Yes. Okay, I just wanted to ask, I guess maybe I need to address you or Ms. White, but I've not heard anything in reference to pupil personnel, and I know you might have mentioned a drop in enrollment, but I'm just concerned, pupil personnel, our admits, discharges, how are we really doing? What about those schools that have low enrollment? Are we looking at possibly another closure? What we doing? So I'm just, that's something that crossed my mind because I just don't hear about it.
Yeah.
And have not heard anything in reference to our enrollment in this district besides the fact that maybe it dropped a little bit. So in terms of admits, discharges, low enrollment in buildings, because I know at one point when I was working, at one point, if the enrollment was really low, those buildings did or were up to close, but worked on the increase. So I just
So we're currently working on the budget process. I needed data on Friday, but I still have not gotten that data for the roll-ups to determine, how many kindergartners are going to come in, how many kindergarten sections I'm going to need to put in schools, how many sixth graders need to go to this school, this school, this school. That stuff is coming. And the largest thing is if I have any recommendations for closures or anything that is going to cause possible waves, I will wait until I have those numbers to make that decision. I just did not want to haphazardly say, hey, this school needs to close. Yeah. Oh no! Well, we're about to put a RFP out for a strategic planning process to really think about what we are doing for the future. Where are we trying to go? That's one of the things that's making things really hard. I don't make decisions haphazardly. I'm very thoughtful. I think about the people that it affects. I think about the babies. We got to make sure that I take everything into account before I just say, yep, this school has low enrollment, so we're closing. Because at the end of the day, that's still a school, that's a community that has developed, and we have to be very careful with things. Closing schools means you got to find places for those other individuals, and we don't really have them at the right locations at this time.
We've been there
Yeah, honestly.
Okay. Anyone else before Trustee Odoro?
Oh, I was just gonna say this. As a student trustee, I have something to share. One of my some fellow students did share something with me lately. Well, was dealing with last year. That teacher turnover is making it learning harder and difficult for students to learn recently. Some classes, like math classes, have a difficult time learning for this reason because I know one class at least, or actually three classes. I kind of forgotten the numbers, but I know one class at least had at least four teachers for this year for a core subject, which is actually affecting a great amount of students. So I just putting it out there for that word. And I already know the whole history because of the contract and other reasons, and I actually did my research. But yeah,
Thank you, and we are very sensitive to that, and we are well aware. Dr. Strickland would like to respond to you.
So to respond to you, Trustee Ardoro, I take teacher turnover, that's really big for me. Making sure that there's a qualified individual in front of every student needs to be a must. I will say that I have actually been doing some exit interviews, and I want to put this out there because I worked in the district as a principal where it was a decade that the teachers did not have the contract. A decade. Yet 2 people left me. It's culture. We have to work on our culture. We have to make sure people trust people. We have to build it so that people don't leave. I've met with a lot of folks that are leaving the district, and I wanted to know why. And that was the last thing they told me was money. So just letting you know.
I want to say thank you. Well, I just want to not make my student, well, no, not student, younger students not experience the same thing that I technically didn't do because whenever some students ask me how do I get to these positions and all this stuff, I can't even tell them because it's not even possible anymore because a lot of teachers already left and that's kind of sad. So thank you again.
Vice President Mitchell.
Thank you. Trustee Odoro, I'm going to just say that it's got to make it more difficult when you're trying to get your recommendation letters for college. So your teachers that you had in 11th grade and you had this incredible experience with that you would look to write those recommendations, that causes a much bigger challenge. So definitely it's something. All right. Not everybody has a superintendent that'll write them a recommendation, but yeah, you're right. So
You'll be writing a lot of recommendations.
So I want to just say about President Maribel from the public library. Thank you for showing up. You said you want to invite us to something for Black History. Please don't hesitate to go to the district page. There is an invite the board link. You can click it so all of us can be invited. Nobody invites us to anything, and I feel like I know nobody cares about me and nobody else here. But listen, I want to ask again. Here we are, Black History Month. I challenge the schools to put together robust Black History Month exhibits that the board can be invited to. Mandela usually comes out every year, does their thing, and they do it big. Trustee Middleton and I attended one, I think it was 2 years ago. Last year, I don't know if we were invited, but I would really like to see. It's unfortunate enough that we don't get it all year round, that we don't get enough exposure to Black history beyond the handful of people that we always know about and hear about. But there's so much more, and I really would like to see it in our schools again. The way the science fair we talked about was kept alive. I was at Benjamin Turner last year. The science fair was absolutely amazing. But I really would like to see more of these type of events that the board can just be invited to so that we can come and see it and we can really just hold the kids, hold the babies up and the teachers as well for what they're doing. So I look forward to getting invited to some stuff this coming Black History Month.
Thank you, Trustee Mitchell. I think that there's a glitch in that link on the system because I really believe there's a glitch because we haven't seen anything. So I would just like to encourage the public that if you want to invite the board, please also, the other alternative is just to send an email to our district clerk, Rita James, and she will notify us, because sometimes well, I shouldn't say sometimes, we realize that our website can be challenging to navigate. So you may not be able to find that link. Also, I do believe that there's a glitch in the link, because I think some people are getting it in their calendars, and then there are some people that aren't receiving it at all. So just to ensure that everyone receives it, I think that we need to take a look at that, and also, again, send an email to our district clerk, Rita James, or even contact her or call her up and let her know that you would like for us to attend your event so that we don't miss anything. Okay. And
Monday, February 9th,
trustee.
Parent Involvement Day.
Okay, so go ahead and make the announcement.
Yeah, that's you.
I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that on Monday, February 9th, because our next meeting is that Tuesday, the 10th. Monday, February 9th is Parent Involvement Day in the district. Parents, guardians, aunts, uncle, cousins, whoever is involved in our students' lives, please come on out. We have some amazing programs scheduled for the day at each school, so please come on out. Monday, February 9th, Parent Involvement Day across the entire Mount Vernon City School District. So we can't wait to see you.
Okay. Dr. Strickland, you have a final word?
Just a final word. Thanks. Today I had the pleasure of providing testimony to our state legislature, advocating on behalf of our priorities here in Mount Vernon. And I must say that the whole interaction that I was feeling with those Ways and Means committee members and our own assemblyman and Senator Mayor, and it keeps going on, I felt heard. It really did feel good, and I just have a feeling that just from the experience today, things are going to definitely turn around. It's only a matter of time, but I'm out here in the streets and in the schools, but I really feel that we are getting somewhere, and that information actually will be made available on the district website so that everyone can actually view it. I was a little parched, so forgive me, because I was sitting there all day. We sit there from 9:30, and then I didn't go on until 3:30, and then I drove back.
So are you our Senator Cory Booker? With the glass of water.
Yeah, so thank you, and it's exciting to advocate on everyone's behalf, and I'm just letting you know that I'm here for it.
And I want to say thank you for the passion and the inspiration and the excitement and the expertise that you actually advocate for us with. I just want to just say that we are also on the radar of the commissioner and our assembly people, our state senators, because they were actually here in district, I understand, on Friday, meeting with the superintendent and our state monitor and seeking to find out what it is that we need in order to move forward past the state monitor information and also to get us off of this fiscally stressed district. So we are on the radar and we are moving forward. We are gaining the attention and of the commissioner and New York State Education Department and of our elected officials. So I just want to say thank you, Dr. Strickland, for raising the level and raising the bar to ensure that they view us as important and they view our students as students that we, knowing that our need is critical, especially at this time. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So I would like to entertain a motion to enter into an executive session. I think we have to read a statement first.
For the purpose of discussing pending litigation, the financial history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation, and to receive legal advice on pending matter. I'll take a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? We are now entering into executive session. We will not return to this room. We will be considering 11.12 in executive session, but we will not be entering or entertaining that in this room. Okay, so thank you very much.